Hey besties, virtual homegirls, and cousins of the internet. You just tapped into Debriefing with D, where we take the chaos, the trending topics, and the so-called scandals and break them all the way down to the soul of the situation. On this channel, we acknowledge that these viral moments, they're never just headlines. They're life lessons in disguise, little cultural case studies dressed up as celebrity drama. So if you're new here, officially welcome to my little corner of the internet, where we reflect, connect, and maybe even collect a few gems along the way. Now, with that being said, let's dive into today's topic about how love can blind you, bind you, and bury you if you're not careful. The inspiration for this cultural conversation is none other than Cardi B and Offset. We got to talk about the spousal support shenanigans, and we're diving deep into how even the baddest women can lose themselves behind a man that was never even whole to begin with. I had to really ask myself, what do you do when the very person who shattered your peace turns around and asks to be paid for the mess that he made? This cultural conversation is about more than just marriage and divorce. This is about spiritual contracts. This is about emotional debt. This is about what happens when you ignore the signs and end up with a bill that costs more than just money. So let's start here. Offset is reportedly asking for spousal support in his divorce from Cardi B, a woman he publicly embarrassed, cheated on, and disrespected time and time again. And now it's being reported that the same man who chipped away at her peace and played in her face on the internet now wants a payout for the damages. Those actions do not symbolize love. That's entitlement. That's spiritual warfare in some sunglasses and a diamond chain. But let's really unpack the truth here. We're actually not surprised about this situation because Offset has never changed. He has always been this person, a womanizer and designer, dripping in red flags and excuses. And trust me, Cardi was not perfect either. She saw the flaws in the broken homes that he had created, but she also saw his potential. She saw a man with cracks and tried to become the glue. She saw his wounds and tried to heal them herself. But baby, this is a lesson that a lot of us have had to learn the hard way. You cannot build a home with someone who's still trying to find their moral foundation. And that's the truth that a lot of us don't really want to face. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter how beautiful you are, how successful, how loyal, or how many kids you give a man. If he is not whole, you will never be enough to fill him. We actually need to debunk this detrimental lie that so many women are fed in the first place, because we are told that we can love a man into his potential. We're told that if you're the one that the man chooses, then that means that you're the exception. But sis, you are actually not an exception to his patterns. You're just the latest participant in his pain. And this is where we really have to sit with ourselves, because what we carry into relationships is often deeper than just the last breakup. It's all of the emotional inheritance. It's the very behaviors that we're seeing played out right now that we normalized but never questioned. So instead of healing, a lot of us are in denial and we just keep moving. We jump from one connection to the next, hoping love will fix what time and therapy were actually made for. So that's why when I look at these headlines about Cardi B, I don't see a woman who is stupid for staying or dumb for moving on fast. I see a woman who, like many of us, probably learned early on that love meant labor. And then on top of that, loving the wrong man will have you feeling like it's your job to prove that you a ride or die 5-star chick, even when the ride is crashing. But a little something that I've learned on these 25 years on earth is that love shouldn't require your suffering to feel secure, and pain does not equal passion. Struggle isn't proof of loyalty, and chaos is not chemistry. Now let's go even deeper, because none of these headlines are ever just surface level. The reality of it all is she poured loyalty into a cup with a hole at the bottom, hoping that eventually her commitment would be enough to fill it, hoping that this time he'd step up, that maybe she could heal him through consistency, through staying. But unfortunately, love does not rewrite character, and potential is not a promise. And let's not forget, Offset isn't just hurting Cardi B. He's leaving behind emotional debris across multiple households. Offset didn't just simply father children, he created chaos in their bloodline. He planted instability where legacy should have grown. And now, Cardi B, like so many other women, is the one expected to hold it all together. The home, the kids, the public image, the grief. All while the man who tore it all apart walks away asking for a check. But here's where I shift the lens, because this is bigger than just Cardi B and Offset. We need to talk about why healing in men is so essential. Because contrary to popular belief, Offset isn't out here cheating, lying, and self-sabotaging just because he's evil or careless. Those behaviors are symptoms. They are not the root. They're echoes of emotional trauma. They're survival tactics disguised as ego. They're the result of a boy who was likely never taught how to feel, how to process, or how to hold space for himself or others. From the outside looking in, I see a man that is emotionally fragmented. And when men and women alike, if they are unhealed, unchecked, and emotionally illiterate, they don't just ruin relationships, they ruin bloodlines. That's how generational pain gets passed down like it's an inheritance. Offset clearly does not need spousal support. He needs therapy. He needs inner child work. He needs to sit in front of a mirror and ask himself why love feels the safest when it's self-destructive. And until he has the courage to do the inner work, every woman he loves will become collateral damage, and every home that he enters will be sacrificed at the expense of his own unresolved pain. I don't believe any judge would actually grant his request for spousal support, because that is taken out of the income that predominantly feeds the children. So to take from the kids' mouths to feed your lifestyle is very selfish in my opinion. He does not need more money. That man needs a mirror. And to all my beautiful virtual besties out there watching this video who think that they can still fix their own Offset, let me stop you right there, and I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, babe. You cannot mother a man into maturity. You cannot sex him into softness, and you cannot pray him into emotional responsibility. He has to choose that journey for himself. And that brings this full circle moment back to the most important factor, which is you. Yes, it's you, because whether you're Cardi B with 1 million of followers or just a humble girl sitting in her car replaying the same toxic voice memo from her situationship for the 10th time, it doesn't matter where you fall on the spectrum. Just know that this is your reminder that you do not attract what it is that you deserve. You attract what you believe that you're worthy of. And trust me, those are two different things. So if you keep attracting pain, instability, and confusion, that's not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of what you still need to heal. And the good news is you do have the ability to heal that. You can choose yourself. You can unlearn survival disguised as love. You can stop confusing chemistry with compatibility. And you can redefine what love feels like, what home sounds like, and what peace actually means. But that's all for this cultural conversation today. I hope you guys enjoyed this debrief. If it touched you in any way, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments down below, because I would love to hear from you guys. And shout out to all the new subscribers that we've been gaining, because our little corner of the internet is just growing and I love it. So a big thank you to you all for debriefing with D, where we keep it real, we keep it kind, and we keep it going. I will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Bye.